Okay, for you, let's unpack something really fascinating happening in the world of AI right now. Maybe you've been focused mostly on generative AI, the text, images, chatbots.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Right. But the big pivot, the conversation, is really shifting now towards physical AI.
That's exactly it. Physical AI. This is where AI basically steps out of the purely digital world.
Okay.
And it starts interacting with and automating the real world. So think robotics, autonomous systems, those kinds of automated factories, AI actually embedded in the physical environment.
And, well, nobody seems to be pushing this narrative harder than NVIDIA, right? At Computex 2025, their CEO wasn't just launching new chips.
No, he made this really bold declaration called Taiwan, the world's AI factory.
Wow. Okay, world's AI factory. But why? What's the thinking there,
Well,
according to our sources?
Well, the compelling part is why. It's not just about Taiwan making the chips, although they obviously do.
Yep.
It's that they have the complete infrastructure, everything you need for these high-performance AI servers, the design, the packaging, assembly, testing.
The whole supply chain.
Exactly. But crucially, for physical AI, their manufacturers are already, rapidly putting AI into their own production lines, using digital twins, that kind of thing.
So they're using the AI to build the AI hardware, almost.
In a way, yeah. They're building that foundation, positioning themselves to be a massive player in physical AI.
Okay, so if Taiwan is setting itself up like that,
Yeah.
where does that leave South Korea? I mean, Korea's a tech giant, right?
Yeah,
Strong in chips, manufacturing.
it is, definitely. Huge strengths. But the sources we looked at suggest it's facing some, pretty fundamental challenges in this new physical AI race.
Okay, challenges. Like what?
It raises a really critical question for you about Korea's actual position. Despite all that potential, the source points to some big hurdles, and one of the most, maybe surprising ones, foundational infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Specifically power, electricity.
Power.
Yeah. These huge AI data centers, these physical AI systems, they need massive amounts of stable electricity.
Makes sense.
But Korea's national energy plan, it's kind of stuck in political debates, apparently. And get this, local resistance is actually holding up building crucial power transmission lines.
Wow, so local arguments are impacting the national AI strategy.
Directly. It sounds disconnected, but you need the physical infrastructure for physical AI. Power lines matter.
Okay, that's a big one. What else? What's another challenge the source mentioned?
Another thing is government support. I mean, they pledge big budgets, sure, but it often seems to lack that sharp, precise focus you see elsewhere.
Like where? Any examples?
Well, the source points to Japan, for example.
Yeah.
Japan's offering really targeted incentives, things like specific subsidies just for data centers, tax breaks, even setting aside dedicated land.
Very specific packages.
Exactly. And that kind of clarity, that precision, it's attracting the big global players. OpenAI, Microsoft, Amazon. They're setting up major AI operations there. Korea isn't quite seeing that same influx, not on that scale.
Okay, so it's less about the total amount of money pledged and more about the strategy,
Right.
the mechanism, and how targeted the investment is.
Precisely. And there's a third major barrier the source highlights.
Which is?
Regulatory hurdles, and also community resistance on the ground.
Okay, red tape and local issues.
Yeah, you see these examples of huge industrial projects by giants like SK Hynix, Samsung, facing years of delays.
Years. Wow.
Yeah, and not just minor hiccups. We're talking significant postponements. Things get held up by local opposition over environmental worries or disputes about land compensation, even fights over access to water or wastewater treatment.
And these delays directly hit the ability to build the sites needed for physical AI.
They directly impede it, yeah.
Okay, that really puts the challenge into sharp focus. It sounds quite tough. But the source isn't all doom and gloom, right? It does see potential for Korea.
Oh, absolutely. Massive potential. Korea leads the world in industries that are, perfectly suited for physical AI.
Such as?
Automotive, obviously.
Yeah.
Shipbuilding, incredibly complex. Nuclear energy management. Imagine Korean AI optimizing a giant factory floor or running autonomous ships or managing advanced power grids.
Okay, yeah, those are huge sectors.
Plus, think about the data. Korea has decades of industrial data from these very sectors. That data is absolute gold for training the specialized AI you need for these physical tasks.
Right, the data is key, so the underlying industrial muscle is there.
Definitely there. But the source makes a really strong point. Just having the industries isn't enough.
Yeah.
And Korea shouldn't just, chase foreign investment blindly or just try to copy what Taiwan's doing.
So what should they do?
The core task, according to the source, is for Korea to craft its own national AI vision, one that specifically plays to these unique industrial strengths.
A tailored plan.
Exactly. And that needs strong, unified leadership, government, and business working together. Vague promises aren't going to cut it. It needs strategic clarity, investment aimed right at Korea's specific opportunities.
Okay, so getting practical. What does the source actually recommend Korea do? What are the steps for this master plan?
Right. The source lists some key actions. First, set up these fast-track zones specifically for AI infrastructure. Basically, cut through the red tape for building things.
Okay, streamline the building process.
Yeah. Second, finalize that national energy roadmap. Guarantee the stable power supply that AI needs.
Get the power sorted. Makes sense.
Third, offer really precise, genuinely attractive investment packages for AI companies, not just foreign, but domestic too.
Targeted incentives again.
And finally, critically, streamline those complex regulations that are currently slowing down, actually building and deploying things on the ground.
So it really sounds like that master plan involves a lot more than just software engineers and chips.
It absolutely does. And this leads to, I think, a really interesting final thought for you as we wrap up.
Yeah.
In this race for AI leadership, this physical AI race, it's becoming super clear that things you might have thought were separate from tech, energy policy, local zoning laws, community relations, just the basic ability to get power lines built.
Yeah.
These are becoming just as fundamental, just as critical as the AI algorithms themselves.
Huh. That's quite a thought.
So what does that shift really imply about how we even define infrastructure in the future and how important it is not just for AI, but maybe for whatever tech comes next?